I love having a lot of books to choose from on my TBR, but over the years it's gotten a little out of hand, and books that I was hyped for when I added them end up sitting there for years and years and years. So this year I'm challenging myself to finally get to the oldest books on my TBR in a game that I'm calling Backlist Bash. Hello and welcome to episode 7, should be episode 8 of Backlist Bash. I did not mean to skip last month. I just kept meaning to get around to my first book for last month's episode and I just kept putting it off. I was getting sidetracked by other things and other projects, and all of a sudden it was the end of the month and I just figured it was easier to skip the month and just start again this month rather than try and cram in a whole bunch of books in the last week and not have a very well-made video. So my bad, but we're back at it. I really wish that I could say that I took last month off in order to catch up on all the series that I'm now behind on because of Backlist Bash, but no, I just forgot. I think I only read one sequel last month in the entire month, so I'm very behind. But as for how Backlist Bash goes, I will likely be starting a whole bunch of new series this month as well. So I'm just going to be watching my ongoing series list continue to grow more and more as the months go on. It's a never-ending battle, but it is what it is. Anyways, for this month's episode, I'm still working on my books that were added to my TBR in 2020. I currently have 7 left, so we're just about to the end. If I can get through all of them this month, that would be great. But as always, I'm aiming for 5 and we'll go from there. So my guarantees for this month, I'm for sure reading The Girl from Shadow Springs by I think Ellie, Cypher. That one I've already started. I'm only about 5% of the way through. I don't have access to the audiobook, so it's going to be a very slow read for me, but that's all right. So I'm just doing that one over ebook, and so far I'm liking it. It's not like my favorite at the moment, but I think that it'll get really interesting, and I do like the writing style, and the setting is really cool. This is a very wintry book. It's set in some like frozen landscape. I think the character was saying that they've been dealing with winter for 7 years straight or something like that. I could be wrong, but something like that, where it's just never ending winter. So August is a perfect time to read that, obviously. And then I'm definitely also going to be doing Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This is currently the oldest book on my TBR. And then aside from that, I think I have one V.E. Schwab book, and I have a book by Alex D. Haro that I want to get to. We'll see what happens. Again, hopefully all of them will get read. I'm going to aim for 5. I'm just not sure which 5 aside from the 2 that I just talked about. So that's the plan. Quick little intro here, but I just got home from work and I'm hungry. So I'm going to go make some dinner and get some reading in. It's a beautiful day outside, so I'm gonna go spend the evening outside reading The Girl from Shadow Springs, and we'll go from there. So yeah, I'll check back in once I have an update.
minute, my bad. I meant to update much sooner and just didn't get around to it. But we're here now, so it's fine. I have a good number of updates. First of all, I finished reading The Girl from Shadow Springs like 2 weeks ago now, my bad. Currently August 21st, so it has been a hot minute. But anyways, The Girl from Shadow Springs, I finished that one a bit ago, and I had a good time with this book. I think, what did I give it? I think I settled on a 3 or 3.5 star, one of the two. Yeah, this book really took me by surprise, to be honest. The first half of it, I was fully sucked in, completely engrossed by it. The writing was really, really good in some parts, especially during parts where the main characters are like traveling across this open plain of ice, and there's storms coming through and ice is breaking and all of these dangerous things keep happening. That's where the writing was the best because the tension was excellent. There was one scene especially where they had to like kind of cross this really narrow ice bridge and they had to go one at a time, otherwise it might break. And below them is just this giant cavern where they can't even see the bottom of it. And that scene was so well written, and scenes like that where it was just really tense. And yeah, it was really interesting. It was well written. My issue came in towards the end. I found all the villains to be really dramatic and just like over the top. Plus, the big reveal at the end was so obvious to me that I didn't even think that it was the reveal because it didn't occur to me that the characters didn't figure this out. So when the reveal happened, I was just like, okay, yeah, like that's the thing that we already knew, and now we're just waiting for the actual reveal to come. And then it just didn't, because the obvious thing was the reveal, and that was baffling to me. So I'm like, how did these people not figure this out immediately? Like, it was extremely obvious. It's not at all believable that these characters, especially the main character, who is this very hardened person who has spent her entire life living in this kind of environment, who grew up with all these stories, who is very well aware of all these things and has a lot of street smarts and really strong survival skills, there's no way that she actually fell for what was going on, and I really didn't understand how that was actually supposed to be a reveal. But regardless, the ending of it was just not the best in that way, and again, just the dramatics were so over the top ridiculous. But everything before that, excellent. I had a great time with it. The vibes were immaculate. I loved this icy western. It was super cool. It was very unique in that way. But yeah, overall, I had a good time with this book, and I would definitely read more from this author, even though that this wasn't my favorite thing in the entire world. It was still a great book. And then aside from that, I have 2 DNFs now. Sadly, I have DNF'd Beast Player. I'm really sad about because I got like a decent way into this book. I think I got to about page 170 or so and I called it quits. I was a little bit interested in it. Mainly, I was really interested in the world building, and the magic system was really intriguing, but unfortunately the plot and the characters just could not hold my attention. And given how long this book was, I did not want to have to spend 8 more hours with a book that I was only kind of caring about. So after 170 pages, I cut my losses with that one. And then my other DNF was actually just last night. I picked up A Peculiar Peril by Jeff Vandermeer and very swiftly DNF'd. I think I only listened to maybe 4% of it, and I was just immediately not enjoying myself. I love whimsical, weird stories, but this crossed a threshold into completely nonsensical that I was not here for. It was not my vibe whatsoever. It was way too much, and I literally had not one clue what was going on. I had the audiobook slowed down just to 1 time speed, just to the regular. I was basically, which to me sounds like slow motion, and I was standing there listening so intently, trying to visualize what was going on, trying to get a grasp of things, and I just could not. Nothing made sense to me at all. So sadly, a DNF for that one as well. And yeah, those are the updates for right now. I've got a couple of ongoing reads at the moment, but after I finish those ones, I'm going to be starting Skyward next. I hope that's the goal at least. I do have it out from the library currently, so I want to get to that before I have to bring it back. But yeah, once I do that, I will let you guys know, and hopefully this time I will not forget to update until the end of the month. I have finished my next book for Backlist Bash, and it was not the Brandon Sanderson one. I had to return that book to the library. I do have the audiobook. I got it from Audible as well, and I just didn't pick it up. I was going to. I had every intention of doing so, and then just did not do that. So instead, I ended up reading The Conductors by Nicole Glover. This one is a historical fantasy about this married couple who were part of the Underground Railroad, and they would help to free runaway slaves after they got free themselves. And now I think the book takes place maybe 10 or so years after that. They're just living their lives, and there is a murder mystery afoot, and there's also magic involved as well. I'm not gonna lie, the magic felt completely unnecessary. I didn't really feel like it added much to the plot. The magic could have been fully removed and the story wouldn't have changed at all. So the magic really didn't add anything to the plot, I found. So it just kind of ended up being more convenient. Like, there were lots of times where the characters were in a bind and magic kind of saved them, and it's like, if they didn't have magic, then how would they have gotten out of that scenario? So yeah, the magic just felt really convenient, and like, it really wasn't needed. But otherwise, I liked the characters quite a bit. The setting was great. I don't have very strong feelings about it personally. I didn't actually read the synopsis before picking it up. When I added it to my TBR 5 years ago, I knew what it was about, but I had since forgotten, and I didn't reread the synopsis before picking it up, so I didn't really realize how much the murder mystery was going to be part of the plot, and it was kind of the entire plot. And I'm really not a murder mystery kind of person. And again, the magic system was not important enough to the story to make it feel like a fantasy. It just felt like a historical murder mystery with a little sprinkling of magic in there for no reason. So this was personally not my favorite, but I can see why others would like it. If you like murder mysteries, I think it was well done. I just personally don't love them as much as I wish I did. I always try to like them, and I just never really end up liking them, unfortunately, but I wish that I liked them more. But yeah, solid read. I ended up giving it a 3.5 star. I really doubt I'm going to continue on with the series, but I will see if this author has other books released, because I do like the writing style quite a bit. And now I do want to try and get one more book in for Backlist Bash to get me to 5. I'm doing a cramming week for the last week of the month because I have read so few books this month, and I'm sad about that. So I've been trying to read at least 5 books before the end of the month, and hopefully one of them will be for Backlist Bash. So we'll see. It should be, what is it, Skyward? It should be that one. But will it be? We'll find out. Stay tuned to find out. So I did not end up reading any more books for Backlist Bash. I barely even read any other books in that last week of the month. I was trying to do a week where I crammed in as many books as possible, and I didn't fail at that, but I did not do as well as I hoped I would. But either way, Backlist Bash for August has come to a close, and I managed to get 4 books off of the oldest part of my TBR. So just to recap real quick, I first read The Girl from Shadow Springs by Ellie Cypher, which I gave a 3 star, and then DNF'd The Beast Player by Nahoko Uehashi, I think was the author's name. Also DNF'd A Peculiar Peril by Jeff Vandermeer, and gave 3.5 stars to The Conductors by Nicole Glover. So I didn't get to as many books this month as I wanted to, but I'm still happy to have 4 more books off of my TBR, so I'm going to call it a success. But that'll do it for this month's Backlist Bash. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will catch you guys in the next video.